Hey y'all, Christy here. It is Saturday, January 14th, 2022. I'm out on my morning walk and I decided to check in before I continue on. It's a nice, pretty day out here. It's been a little while, since I last checked in. Like I said, I just do it when I feel compelled to do it. I'm not so much trying to do it every single day. It's just whenever I feel like I need to get on and say something. So a lot has happened since last post. Not really anything major, just a lot of self-work. I went to see my Reiki healer and really learned a lot in just such a short amount of time. And really different experience as opposed to being with a therapist. And I'm looking forward to multiple sessions, so much so that I signed up for an actual training, a all-day Reiki 1 training to learn how to actually practice it, not only for myself but maybe to eventually help others with it. That'll be like in January 22nd. It's an all-day thing, like from 9 to 6. And I get a certification for level 1 of Reiki healing. And I'm looking forward to that. I had a few assignments that I've been working on, which kind of keep me busy with, the work I'm already doing, professionally as well as personally. One of those was my birth chart reading. And, that was pretty interesting. My sun sign, which is my birth sign, which, is the sign most people, look up when they're looking for their daily horoscope, which mine is a Capricorn. But then my moon sign was an Aquarius. And then I think I've got so much on my brain I can't even remember. Maybe I better not say that because I can't even really remember. I just remember that I know my rising sign is a Cancer, but I'm got everything kind of like all over my head, so I'm not sure about my moon sign. But it was pretty dead on, pretty accurate. I'll have to look at it again and then maybe make a post tomorrow to give it specifically. But I've been doing a lot of that work, reading on it, also doing some inner healing work that my spiritual advisor had me work on until our next session. And it's pretty deep work and different kind of work. I'm still pushing through being off medication. It has its good days, it has its bad days. Nothing like emotional. It's always more physical for me. It's more of physical pains and body aches and nausea and headaches more than it is the emotional, because I've already ruffled my emotional feathers per se when I've been on this journey and taken myself out of the comfort zone. So that's already been all over the place. So taking my medications, getting off my medications, I haven't really seen anything different, because I'm still on an emotional roller coaster. I will say that my feelings and my emotions are more intense. There's none of that numbing feeling. I feel 110%, to my core. I get my feelings hurt very easily. And I'm okay with that. I embrace it. I allow myself to be hurt and, experience and actually experience that hurt and let it go. And, whether it comes out in the form of crying or laughing or anger, I allow my body to experience those and let go of it. So that way it doesn't hold me captive, and I don't suppress them, and then eventually, something triggers them, and then it just all explodes in my face. So I will say I am allowing myself to experience that more and be present in the moment and actually, just experience life how it comes. The good, the bad, the ugly, the peaceful, the enlightenment, the gratitude, all of those things. And, it's never a dull moment, I'm just so overwhelmed, I guess, sensory wise, that, it's kind of hard to focus a lot, because I feel like I'm experiencing some of these emotions for the first time. And, even though that's probably true, because, being 16, 17 years, whatever, 16 years on medication, it is like experiencing some of these things all over. And, for the first time, and, it gets to be overload sometimes and overwhelming, but, I just take it one day at a time, and I allow my body the time that it needs to process them, and I don't try and rush them, or suppress them. And so to me, that is making huge strides from where I used to be. And I've been doing a lot of meditation and manifestation and visualization, and, just inner work, reconnecting with my inner strength. And, it's doing wonders for me. And, it just allows me to see things a lot more clearly. And, I'm back on my 75 hard program. I'm on phase 1, which is, 75 hard, all those 5 critical tasks, plus your cold shower, which is still a struggle for me, but I push through it. It's more difficult when the weather's cold, because, you're already cold. I'm always cold as it is. And so I don't like to keep my house extremely hot, because I'd rather it be cooler and then just bundle up. And then when I get hot, then take the layers off. So my house isn't very warm as it is. I think I keep it at 69. And so taking a cold shower and then getting out of the cold shower into a cold room, and I don't have carpets in my house, so it's always cold. And so I usually have my heater, my room heater going, and I'm usually standing by that. Or sometimes I'll just turn the hot water on after the cold shower and stand there for a few minutes and actually warm up, because it takes me forever to get warm. But, that's probably the hardest part still of that challenge. Everything else, is just like a habit. It's not, it's not difficult for me to manage to get all those tasks done, because it's actually just become a part of what my daily routine is. And so I cut out the alcohol again, which I only had a couple drinks while I was taking a break from the 75 hard. And I didn't really care for how I felt. It was fine, but the next day was where I felt sick and just not good. And I didn't like how I felt, because I'm so used to waking up energized and ready to conquer the day, and just having to recover, and my body just feeling out of whack was something I didn't really care for. And I don't know that I'll ever be that drinker that I was, that social drinker that I used to be, because I just don't know that I have the time to waste the next day to recover. And that's not to say when I go on vacation and I go to an all-inclusive, who knows what's going to happen. But I just didn't like not being present in the next day, in the moment, because that's one of my biggest challenges to myself, is to be present in the moment. And then when I'm spending the day recovering, I'm not really present in the moment. I'm letting my body heal from, or detox from, the night before, and so I don't really enjoy the next day. And I don't know. I don't know what the future brings, but I can honestly say I don't think I'm ever going to be that caliber of drinker or social drinker that I was before, because I just don't like the way it alters my mind. And, I like thinking clearly and coherently. So, I'm not going to say that I'll never indulge. I will. I'm sure. For certain I will. But to what caliber, who knows? But that's going well. I'm on day 6. I think I'm on day 18 of the Miracle Morning Challenge, and that's very easy to me because it goes hand in hand with my phase 1 of 75 hard. So it's just setting a goal every morning to wake up a little bit earlier. Some days I wake up an hour earlier, some days 30 minutes earlier. Like today, I think I got up like at 3:45. I didn't have my alarm set. I actually have my alarm set for 4:30, but I just woke up because I had to go pee, of course, because drink so much water. So, and it's cold in my house, like I said, so I had to I got up like at 3:45 and had to go to the bathroom, and then I couldn't go back to sleep, so I went ahead and started my Miracle Morning routine as well as my 75 hard routine. So those are going great. Super proud of myself. Like I said, they're not really a challenge to me anymore. They're just part of my daily routine, and I look forward to them, and I make sure I budget the time to get them all done. And that's probably the hardest thing on all of these, is the time management and making sure I get them done, and especially like drinking all my water and being mindful like where I'm at, on how much water I drink, especially like when I come and do my 45-minute walk, because it turns out sometimes to be like almost an hour walk, because I just get in the moment and I just start taking in the environment and losing track of time and where I'm at. And before I know it, 3.5, 4 miles are, under my belt, and, got time to go home because I got to pee. So, I'm real mindful of that as well, because my bladder seems to not be what it used to be because I'm overwhelming it with water all the time. But, I'm enjoying things and taking it one day at a time and working through a lot of things, especially spiritually, and healing myself, because it doesn't matter what you do or the counsel you seek or the guidance. At the end of the day, you're the one responsible for doing the work, and no one can help you but yourself. They can give you tools and suggestions, but ultimately you're the one that's putting in the work. And so that is what I'm doing, and that is exactly what my spiritual mentor has said is, you've got to learn to do the work, because you can't be fully dependent on someone else to heal you or help you. You have to be able to learn how to do that yourself. Yes, you can seek out advice and assistance, but they're not with you 24/7. And so I'm learning a lot about myself and how I process things, and how I learned I do have a lot of stored energy that needs to be released, and I will be working with my spiritual counselor to unleash and unlock those energies. And I'm looking forward to them. I've got a lot of homework to do, and it's a lot of reading, a lot of writing, a lot of journaling. I've got my gratitude journal, and then I've got my burn journal, where literally I write whatever's I'm feeling or thinking at the moment, and I don't hold back, and I don't read it. I don't reread it. I burn it. And, I tear it out of, the spiral, and I do not reread it, because that's, like my spiritual advisor said, that is a form of release. If something bothers me or someone hurts my feelings, or, an emotion, a negative emotion comes along, I just start writing about it and how it makes me feel, and I don't hold anything back. And whether there's profanity involved or not, it's all on the paper, and I don't reread it. And then I just tear it out and I wad it up, and then I put it in, a little trash can, and I burn it. And that's very therapeutic. I wouldn't think it would be, you know. I mean, a lot of times, you know, when I write stuff, I go back and read it. And, you know, I've learned that when you do that, you're just bringing it back in. And that is not healthy, you know. Now, my gratitude journal, I do reread it because those are things that I'm grateful for and I'm thankful for, and those are positive thoughts. So, you know, it's always great to reread positivity and bring it back in. But negativity, you want to let it go and release it. And so that is why I do not reread what's in my burn journal. It just gets taken out and burned to ashes. And, you know, it helps take that negativity out, which is something that, you know, I never really thought of, you know, and it's a great form of release and expression. And I don't have to worry about anybody reading it or me rereading it because it's burnt. It's gone. Once it's out, it's out. And then that's it. I don't have to process it again. But, I mean, you know, I'm really enjoying this journey that I'm taking myself on. You know, I'm constantly learning things about myself and constantly learning different techniques to grow professionally, personally, spiritually. So, you know, it's fun. And it's a lot of work, and sometimes it is exhausting. I would have to say that sometimes the emotional work that I'm doing and the spiritual work that I'm doing is so much harder and so much more physically exhausting than the actual physical activities that I do. You know, the walking and the working out and the jogging. That is extremely more taxing on my body than anything else. And so I do have to recognize that sometimes because, you know, I do push myself to do the 2 45-minute workouts, you know, every single day. And I have to also take into consideration the exhaustion that my body takes from the emotional and the spiritual workouts that I put myself through, to be mindful of those and recover from those as well, because it's not any different than coming out and doing physical activity. I mean, it actually takes more of a toll on me than those do. You know, I find myself a lot more mentally and emotionally exhausted than physically exhausted half the time. And so, you know, I am very mindful of that, and I give myself the time to rest and reflect on those, you know, which is why I don't post now every day, because I do need that recovery time, because it does take so much out of you. So, you know, that's kind of what's been going on in my world. And, you know, I'm just putting one foot in front of the other and, you know, putting in the work and not being afraid to uncover whatever may be and process whatever may be. And, you know, I've listened to a lot of helpful podcasts. Like I posted one today. It really touched me. You know, that's why I'm kind of like somber, and not really somber, but just in a reflective state of mind, because that really struck a chord with me. If you didn't get a chance to listen to it, I posted on my Facebook. It was by Trent Shelton. It was talking about stop playing God, and you know, it said a lot of real things to me that as my advisor would say, my counselor would say, it pulled a lot of triggers. And so that's what I'm doing on this walk, which is why I took a break, because, you know, it's already longer than 45 minutes. So I decided to take a little break and sit in the park and just listen to the birds chirp and reflect on that, because it was a pretty deep and intense podcast, and it resonated and hit a lot of my triggers. And so I've been processing them as I've been walking. But it's a good processing, and it's a good sad, and it's a good... These are good emotions, you know, and I'm so glad that I'm able to experience them with the clarity that I do now, and that I don't have, you know, my medication anymore. Maybe it's still lingering in there, but not to the potency where it's going to numb those feelings. So, you know, that's just kind of why I'm just kind of chill and calm, is because that was a really, really intense podcast, and it had a lot of meaning, and it was meaningful to me. Not that it would be meaningful to everybody, but it's extremely meaningful to me, and it hit a lot of my triggers. And that's what I'm going to be working on today, is processing those triggers and releasing them so that they can't have a hold on me anymore. And I'm going to stop playing God. And if you listen to the podcast, you'll know what I'm referring to. But that's about all I got. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this walk / jog up, and then take my cold shower, and then see what the day brings. And just keep going, doing me. So just remember that you're important, you matter, your feelings matter, your happiness matters. And I really do care. I may not know every single body that watches these, or maybe I do, and just know that you do really matter to me, and your happiness matters to me. And I challenge you to do something to help yourself, whether it's professionally, whether it's personally, whether it's spiritually. Do something that's going to make you happy and bring you joy. And no matter what you do, just remember to be present in the moment. That's the hardest thing ever, is just to be present in the moment, and not to be taken away by your thoughts, and just actually experience the world that you're in, or the environment that you're in. All right, so delete regrets, hit reset, and unleash your new mindset. And have a happy Saturday. I will see y'all soon. Well, I can't turn it off because of my gloves. Let's see this time. Okay. JK, try again. Have a good Saturday.